All right, dudes. Well, there we go. Well, thank you so much again for taking the time to do the podcast, y'all. I really appreciate it. Like I said, having some other bands out there that I know you guys have played shows with, and got a chance to check you guys out and really dug it. So with Drain, just coming off of that within like the last month or so, it's cool to get you guys on here to do this, man. So thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us, man.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So just since we got Tree is on here, why don't you guys tell people your names and what you play in the band, and that way when you're speaking, the people know who's talking.
All right, man. My name is Jake. I do the clean vocals and I help Drew a little bit with the backing live.
I'm Matt. I play bass and do a little bit of backing vocals for Jake.
I'm Stefan and I play the drums.
We're the only two people we're missing today. We're missing Richard, our guitarist, and obviously Drew, our lead vocalist. And they both came down with a bug, so they weren't able to make it today, but they send the regards.
Well, I hope get well soon, fellas. But yeah, I'm glad that we were able to get y'all on here, man. And I guess just as a place to start, I always tell people I feel like when you meet fellow heavy music fans out in the world, it's kind of like the Spider-Man meme. It's like, oh, you too. Um, well, for you guys, what was like the rabbit hole moment for you guys getting into heavier music?
Ooh, man, I think mine was 2007 Taste of Chaos. I think that's where it was, man. My dad at the time, he got some tickets. I think he won them off of a radio station, and I listened to a little bit here and there. You got your dad in the garage with some Metallica playing or something really old, and then you know, to, completely different, to where we've become now and watching the genre evolve and everything. But that was Avenged Sevenfold and Atreyu and Bullet for My Valentine. So that was my first, foot in the door of walking up somewhere. I think Bless the Fall was there. So that's the metalcore intro right there as well. And man, walking in and hearing the screaming, and I think it hits your soul instantly. As a metalhead, the first time you listen to metal music, man, you're like, oh my God, dude, this is it. This is where it's supposed to be. So yeah, mine was Taste the Chaos was my first live. We're like, this is my calling.
I'd say, yeah, in the 2000s, my brother introduced me a lot of music. Like we'd be driving out to Oklahoma. My mom's got a lot of family that area, and we would bug her with this good old CDs back in the day, throwing on Linkin Park, and he'd do like the rap Mike Shinoda parts, and I would do this, the Chester parts, and just singing and screaming back and forth. He showed me a lot of Rammstein. He even was the first person to show me My Chemical Romance. Uh, but definitely would dive more into it. And then guess like early became his Roans and Day to Remember before they even blew up. Really is my metalcore influence. Like it really, that's when I started really diving into that.
Uh, Same thing. I grew up on Linkin Park, Metallica, and my dad was like an '80s like hair metal guy, so I grew up on like Dawkins and stuff like that. Um, And obviously, I knew Kill Switch, just Atreyu, Avenged Sevenfold, but I got really into it when I joined my first band that I was in, and those guys got me into Memphis Mayfire and The Word Alive. So like my first like albums where I was like, oh dude, this music is sick was definitely Memphis Mayfire's Vices and The Word Alive's Life Cycles, most definitely.
Nice. All those bands are so sick, and also like that era of metalcore, man. It's crazy like that. It makes me feel old now to think a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like 20, 25 years, some of those bands, and they're still killing it, that's
Yeah.
Mhm.
cool. Like I feel like heavy music is in such like a cool, healthy space right now when you consider bands like Deftones is like as popular as probably they've ever
Mhm.
been,
Yeah.
and they have like bands like Sleep Token melding genres and I feel like new metal has made a comeback, which I love, because I was in junior high, like when you know issues and all that was coming out with Corn, and they're one of my like
Mhm.
pinnacle favorite bands, and I remember when Hybrid Theory came out. I think I was in like sixth grade, maybe the first one, probably
Mhm.
Paper
Same, yeah.
Cut.
Yeah.
I was like, I heard Paper Cup and I was like, what is this? And I don't know if it was that music video or maybe it was like One Step Closer. I think it was One Step Closer, that
Yeah.
music video. and just that heavy part, towards
Oh man,
towards
those guitars stick with you, bro. Those guitars stick. All those licks, man. They're in that album specifically are just insane, like lightning in a bottle.
The whole album was before its time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very much
most
so.
definitely.
So for you guys, how did you like Matt, Stefan, and Jake, like how did you so Jake, like with the voice, like when did you start doing that? And then Matt and Stefan, when did you guys start getting into like playing?
All right. So the voice, I mean, if I go back to when I was real young, I was raised with my mom and then my dad listening to two complete different genres of music. My mom was more of the R&B and hip hop, and my dad was, like I said, the country and rock. So I had the lighter voice. Obviously, I don't have a very deep voice when it comes to singing, but I'd be singing like all these country songs and trying to vocal match everything I could find, in my range. And then you go to the R&B, which is just all flowy and trying to, get in that. I remember, I mean, it's a completely different genre, but my mom used to have this DeBarge CD that she would wake up to every day. And to this day, I mean, it's the music is stuck in my head because it was an alarm clock. But you end up singing it and going like that and being a little kid with the karaoke machine and just having a good time with my voice. And you never really think you have what it takes. You always have this slight imposter system or imposter syndrome. There it is. When you're singing and somebody compliments you on your voice, and I'm like, no, I don't have it. I don't have it. Well, we formed the band again after back in 2023 of around August, and I got back to the band back together as the bassist. That's what I planned on being. We were gonna just stick to hard and heavy and not do the singing. And when we're practicing some of the older stuff or just some of the songs that we want to do, because we were just trying to have fun, a bunch of 30-year-old dudes making music. I started singing some of the old songs, and I was singing a song, and Richard, our guitarist, he stopped and looked at me, and his mouth was open. He's all, "Can you just do that? Like, can you do that? Like, we'll give you a microphone. Can you do that, please?" And I was like, "If you want me to." And it just fell into this whole rabbit hole, man, of like, you know what? Like I love bass guitar, and he knows I love bass. And but I wanted to focus on how complex can we make the bass lines and how complex can we make the clean vocals. And I found out me doing both of those at the same time, I was limiting one or the other. So that's when I started talking to the guys, and we reached out to Matt, and Matt jumped on board instantly. And it's been, fire ever since, just wildfire of progress and building up and up and up. And it was, I think it was a great decision of just splitting the one position into two and seeing what it's become now.
You're good at talking. And not, I mean that in a good way, like the way he words things. Not he talks a lot. Oh no, he doesn't. Just kidding. I actually the different because he used to be a bassist. It's funny, like in high school, like for music. I mean, same thing. Growing up, I listened to a lot of different genres too. Like my parents, I'm from a small country town in the mountains, so like country and things like that were big in my family. I'll bust out some Tim McGraw right now. Like, but I grew up singing more. I played a little clarinet, was like in like middle school, and a little bit of piano. Not very good at it, but still mess around with it. But I sang in some bands in high school, and then after high school, in college is when I really started picking up more instruments. I joined a band with a guy from Skylight Drive, who we all know, Jordan Blake, was a singer, phenomenal person, phenomenal voice he had, and I was actually going to just play live keys for them. And then we never had a bass to stick around, so I just decided I'm gonna go buy equipment and learn quickly, which thank God I did, because here we are today. Um, Been playing bass since then. I'll still dabble and sing here and there. That's why like some things maybe I'll help Jake if he ever wants. Um, I actually stepped away from music for a while until these guys hit me up one night, and like he said, it's been wildfire. I think we work well together because we both were saying we both played bass, so we kind of go down rabbit holes real fast.
Oh yeah, when we get together, man, it can go crazy really quick. We were just talking about a music video that we have coming up actually for our next song, and we were just eating tacos,
Tuesdays.
and
Tuesday.
a typical music video is like, all right, let's just find a background and have a camera guy shoot you and make us look cool, man. And then we started developing a story, and 4 hours later, when you start at 8 p.m., man, and I got work the next day, I'm like,
parking lot of the Mexican food.
yeah.
Guys staring at us like, what are you guys doing? And you
Cars are
can't
driving up
like
like,
tacos and good ideas at the same time.
yeah.
Go ahead, Stim.
You're up, man.
Oh no, you're good. I like listening to you guys talk, to be honest.
Yeah.
I haven't really played any other instruments. I just honestly I like beating the snot out of my drums like they owe me money, man. I started playing drums in middle school, around 2006, 2007, and on like a symphonic band type stuff. And when I got to high school, I started like trying guitar and like piano just to like learn the theory side. But um, my mom and dad got me like a drum set when I was in eighth grade, so I always had something to go home and mess around with on my own time. And then, like I said before, when a little after I graduated, I started deciding to like try to find a band, and thank God for Craigslist.
Back in the day, yeah.
I ended up finding my first band, Visions and Sleep, out here. Played with them for about 4 years, and then took some. I after that ended up dissolving. I took some time off. I got married, had a few kids, and then Drew, our harsh vocalist, I was in that band Visions with him, and he ended up meeting all these guys. And he started bugging the heck out of me, like, dude, you got to come join this band. You got to play with these guys because these guys went through like 3 or 4 drummers, couldn't keep a guy.
Yeah.
And so I ended up joining in, and yeah, it's been a massive fire ever since. It's like the campfire was there, and like join all of us together with us in sync of we are just drop gasoline on the dang thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that Craigslist. That's how I met Richie, and then because I met Jordan, and here we are meeting.
No.
Craigslist literally funny. My wife hates me for this joke, but Craigslist literally changed my life. When I got on Craigslist and found my last band, I met my wife through that band, and
there we go,
and so forth. So like literally, if I hadn't gone on Craigslist, my life would be totally different.
Shout out to Craigslist, man. Hey,
Dude,
yeah. Yes.
Is that still a thing? Craigslist still exists?
I think it still exists. Just you can't like go on. I don't think it's the same as it used to be. Like you can't go on and look for like.
I haven't been on Craigslist in years.
Easily, I'm sure there's a lot.
Well, Marketplace put a huge dent into it. I know that, but yeah, it's different. Yeah, I mean, we're born before the internet. I think all of us, man. So
yeah,
roommates, wives, and bands, man. There you go. It's Craigslist. Nutshell, man. No, it's I mean, I think even back in the day, like I think that's how Lars and James Hetfield met from like I think an ad in like the paper.
Newspaper ads, yeah.
So back
Black
in the day.
Sabbath too.
Yeah, the newspaper ads, man, but yeah, I remember like the early MySpace days. Remember bands would blow up on MySpace like
it was so easy, man. It was so easy.
I could put my own band in my top 5 and people were like, yo, who is this? Like, what's up?
Dude, I remember you wanted to book a city on MySpace. So what you did is you went to add friends from your band page, enter the zip code of the city you're playing in, and just start pressing the add button on everybody. Because if you got 10% of ads that you were sending, hey, those are fans that you never had. It was the opposite. The bands came after you. You didn't have to seek out the bands. We went after the fans themselves.
Pre these mysterious algorithms that are running all of our lives.
Yes.
It's crazy. It's
Dude, you
crazy.
can't watch one YouTube video about anything without just being the rest of your life for a month. You're like, can I have my YouTube back?
Yeah. Algorithm is what we live by.
Let's keep that going on.
What's weird now, has this ever happened to y'all where like I swear to God, this has happened to me like 2 or 3 times, and I'm like, this, like, we're in the Matrix, man. And I even told my buddy, I'm like, there's times where, like, I mean, I'm at that age now, dudes, where like if I lay down to start watching something, like it's over. I could be in an IMAX theater, like a 4-story tall screen, surround sound, and if I'm horizontal, I will sleep through it. But then you'll wake up and your TV will be like, "Are you still watching this?" I'm like, "Am I in a Black Mirror episode?" But then there's times where you'll like think of something. This has happened to me like once or twice. Recently with salsa, and I got like a salsa ad in between a YouTube video. I'm like, "This is tripping me
Yeah.
out. Like this is
It
tripping me out right now."
if you want to use the system against itself, man, and you forget something, try to think about what that one thing is. Don't remember it all the way. In about a week, it'll show up on your feed. So you're good. It'll come back to you eventually. You know, you lost your keys. Think about them. Facebook will show you in a week where they were at. You know.
Dude, it's wild. It's freaky now. But yeah, and on one end, it's like, and I've talked to some other artists on the show about this. And thanks again, dudes, for taking the time. I appreciate the conversation. Like, it's like on one end, these algorithms can kind of like put you on to bands and suggest things to you. Like you can play, a corn song, you can play an Ourselves Among Other song, and it'll be like, oh, if you like stuff that sounds like that, maybe you'll like this. And on one end, that's cool, but on the other end, as a creator, like whether you're doing music or podcasting or any kind of form of art where you're putting it on these platforms, trying to reach people organically, I think that's what stinks about nowadays compared to like those MySpace days. Like you said, the bands were finding the fans, and
Yep.
I feel like you would get those plays and those streams on your songs a lot quicker.
Mhm.
And so I don't know what it is with Big Brother or whatever, not to be a conspiracy theorist, but it seems like it's like on one end the access is quicker, but
Yeah.
like pushing yourself out there takes a lot more legwork.
Yeah. No, very much. And like it's the something I never realized of being a smaller band, that's all we've ever really been is a smaller band, trying to work our way up. Our first album, when you listen to it, the way it works or the way I perceive it to work is you listen to our album and then you finish it and it goes on to suggested. Well, it's going off the people that are listening to your music. So you have friends and family and all these people, all these different genres listening to you because they're listening to you because they love you. They want to support your music. And so you listen to our song and then it changes and it goes to rap. And you're like, well, that's not really in the realm. And then like I'm pretty sure which everything's completely okay. But I finished our album one time because you like to listen to your songs every now and then, and I finished and I went to mariachi and I was like, hell yeah, man. I was like, I don't know what's going on. It's not like us, but shoot, somebody's having a good time listening to us somewhere.
I'm trying to tell you Taco Tuesday. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, no, it's actually cool to see because now Drain is performing really well, and we're taking things very serious and kind of putting the steps of everything where it should go. And now you finish Drain, and it will show you bands that we listen to that are in the local area, like I've yeah, Don't You Dare has popped up after us. Moments Notice with Greg has popped up after us. And I'm like, this is awesome because these are the bands that we've been attaching ourselves with on live shows. So it's like, if you like this band, after you finish one of their songs, it may show that fan us. And I think that's all you could really hope for.
Yeah.
Yeah, and shout out, that's a good segue, man. Shout out to Drain. Like I said, that was when I think I'd seen you guys pop up through stuff I had done with like Resider, A Moment's Notice, Seaside, and it just kind of like Instagram brought y'all my way and you'd
All of
put
those
on,
guys are amazing guys.
yeah,
Good band.
super, super cool, man.
Yeah.
And I think I had seen you guys had done like an Instagram story, like a teaser for Drain, and the snippet I heard, I was like, that's 100% my wheelhouse. And that's when I hit up Drew. And shout out, man, the music video as we're doing this, like early March with BVTV, it's like already over 13,000 views. And then did I see that right? Did you guys do the video yourselves?
We did.
Yeah,
We did it in the studio where we practiced,
we put up where I live right
where
now.
he's living.
We put up a white sheet on the wall, and he said to wear all white so we could have that whole look with it all, and shot it on my iPhone.
Yeah, it was an iPhone, a projector that I got for Christmas like 2 or 3 years ago to watch football on the big old blank walls, and I think California King white bed sheet that we just took a bunch of push pins and stretched it out as thin as we could. Spent some time online and found a bunch of cool stuff that we like. I think there's Easter eggs all over that video for anybody who's quick enough to catch it. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to be able to catch all of it because there's some of them that are Easter eggs to us, man. But there's Easter eggs.
Some that are Easter eggs in the next song too. the breakdown. I'm not gonna say it.
No, okay. I was just
Almost said
like,
it.
see, that's what you say to me. I don't know. I don't know. I helped make the thing, and I'm like, man, what
Yeah,
did I put on
Drew
here?
did a great edit on all of it at the end of the day. Yeah.
It turned out awesome, man. I mean, and musically and lyrically, it's a really good song. I think if anybody who's a fan of Infinite, I feel like that's a really good like progression of where y'all sound is going. And what I really liked about Infinite too, man, was I'm a big fan of like atmosphere in music, and I feel like you guys do that so well. Like you have the intro in the beginning, and then even the way it trails out with Infinite at the end, it was almost like there was almost like when I listened to it like the third time, I was like, I'm almost getting like a Stranger Thingsy kind of vibe in here. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but I really loved Stay Another Day is so awesome. Sink Me Down, Wasted Time, Death Race, Second Lap. Like it's a great listen front to back. But did I see too with Drain? Did you work with Nick Miller? His name's popped up multiple times with bands that I've had on from
Yeah,
Nick Miller, the legend, the
yeah.
Mr. Worldwide. Yeah.
We did Infinite with our he was a guitarist with us at the time. Richie Belia. It was a fun time doing that with him, and then yeah, we're doing all this new stuff with Nick Miller.
And it works out really well for us because, God bless Richie. He was in this band for a while with us. He stepped away. He's doing Medic Droid now. But God, there's probably a year and a half of just weekends and driving back and forth, to his house, and we recorded that all in house. Just sitting there playing with synths, playing with guitars, and we really wanted to build an atmosphere like that. You nailed it on the head, and I'm happy you found that because that is a story. It's a very loose story, but it's kind of a story of why we are here. And yeah, and Richie and Nick being such good friends when Richie, ended up moving on with the project and moving on to bigger things for himself, he sent us over to Nick, and Nick's just been a godsend to us, and the best thing that we could have ever asked to work with.
Artist producer relationship. I can't wait to do the third song here pretty soon with them.
Yeah, we're hoping. I mean, Nick's ready and he's ready to rock and roll, and we're ready to rock and roll. So if everything plays out properly, you should be hearing a new song from us every 8 weeks.
Nice, man. Yeah, I mean it's a great front to back lesson or listen. And are you guys with the atmosphere? Are you guys like because it does kind of have that cinematic vibe? Are you fans of like movies and soundtrack stuff too? Because
You're picking up on a lot of what this band's about. We're a very cinematic band.
You know what you're talking about, man. Yeah, hey, I'm gonna tell you. Yeah, I mean, you're describing what we are as humans down to the core. When people ask us, where do we fall on the spectrum of music, I always like that's the one thing I say is I say we're cinematic. Everything about us is we go up above and beyond of what we try to do. We add strings where there shouldn't be strings. We add synth where there shouldn't be synth. We put guitars in areas that you wouldn't expect the guitar progression to go like that. Like, oh, here comes a breakdown, and then like, wait, no, that's a soft spot.
And then here's a breakdown and another breakdown. And guess what? Here's another breakdown.
You know what I mean? We're all over the place. But like the one thing I like is you hear stuff and you hear all of our influences in the music, but
it's chaotic structure.
Yeah, it's and I you described it like a nail on the head, man. I always go cinematic. I love the ambiance. If you listen to Infinite on the way out of the album, I wanted people to be calm. I wanted you to reflect on everything you just listened to, and I know this is a lot for somebody to say off their first full album as the band, but like I wanted you to like, go out with peace and think about everything we talked about and end you on some positive notes and get ready for what's next because there's a lot of chaos that's coming next.
Yeah, a lot of chaos coming soon. Because as a band, I mean, like you said, I deal with a lot of anxiety and issues, like mental things that we all go through, especially as we get older. So like he's saying with that album, there was a lot of things we put out there and wanted to make sure there was some peace in there. And like he also said, there's a lot of chaos and a lot of reflection coming up soon and being cinematic. We've heard it once before with Wasted Time. Someone was watching the Wasted Time video and they're like, if they put as much energy live as they do in this music video, which I think we actually go harder than we do in the music video live. We just want to make sure everybody feels in every form, everything we do.
Yeah, and especially this last show that we played over at Goldfield's Trading Post out here, we were able to mess with they had a huge video wall behind our set. So like you said, cinematic, we were able to even add to that, throwing up, videos like backdrops and all that. Being able to put our lyrics on top of the wall so, people can get a chance to, grab more onto the songs.
I mean, and that's something I learned from that. This was just one of those, bowling ball ideas. It just rolls into a bigger idea. You go to live shows, man, and you see bigger bands with video walls, and some of them will just throw the, texture, just Microsoft wallpapers up, But then I went to Summer of Loud and I saw a Beartooth, and Caleb had the music videos up, which would be a standard music video, but then he had all these custom, lyrics over it. So that if you didn't know who Beartooth was at the time, you could find a new fan, you could sing along. And I'm like, that's great for Beartooth, but people know who Beartooth is. People don't know who we are. Some people are going to go to our shows and not be able to sing along. I said, let's give them a way to sing along. And people loved it. And, we were blessed to even play that show, man. All the Artery guys who put us on that, and, Sully Vale, Code Words, and Don't You Dare. Those dudes were amazing to us. And probably, I mean, the best show I've ever played.
The most fun, most energetic, most biggest crowd.
We had a wheelchair. I don't know if you caught our Instagram, man, but we had a wheelchair go up in the sky. And when you're on stage and like
look out, you got a circle pit and there's a wheelchair right next to your crowd surfing. Like, whoa!
I almost broke, man. Like I'm sitting there, I'm singing the song, and then I see a wheelchair pop up in the sky, and I have my mic, and I'm like, what is this? What's happening?
I mean, if you watch the live video, you see Richard point.
You see it
playing, then he basically runs across the stage, just can't help it. Like, holy crap!
I think we were trying to all we were in shock but we're like, is somebody taking a picture of this? We got videos, but we're like, please tell me somebody's getting this.
So rad.
That's sick. Was that Artery? Sorry, man, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. Good.
Was that Artery Winterfest? Was it
that was
yes.
Yeah. Shout out Artery Foundation and those guys. Awesome people.
Yeah. Yeah, with that, like the video wall, like you're saying, the wheelchair, I'm pretty sure because our cinematic wall, he put that one together, and it was what was it?
Twisted Metal.
Just a metal video.
I did that for Death Race.
A bunch of different things in the background. So like, I think you got wheelchair, circle pit, Twisted Metal, me and Richard doing our spins and jumps that we do along with him and Drew, him just going ham. It's like the whole thing, and then you get down to the end of the day, and you want to talk about almost breaking is. That's a more heartfelt song. He can go more into it. That's definitely one of his big ones. We did the wall, and we did kind of a what would you say? What do we call it? A memorial kind of thing for our friends and families and close ones we've lost, and kind of threw a curveball at the crowd. And when you look out and you see people you don't know, my mom was there, so I knew she'd be losing it. Which my mom never goes to our show, so that meant the world to me. And you just see so many people just like really connecting to it and feeling it emotionally and singing along that you do not know who they are. None of us knew. And it almost makes you break right there on stage because that song in a whole means a lot to us just as a band. So,
I mean, and we're new to each other. A quick reason why this band got back together, we all existed as musicians back in high school, when we were youngsters. You're a kid, you don't really know how things are going. Well, when our friend Jordan Blake passed away, they had a memorial show for him out in Sacramento. And it was just one of those things, everybody kind of showed up. You want to show your respects. You love the people that, were on the show, and everybody missed Jordan. And we all got there, and you're running into everybody from the California music scene. It was like, I've never seen a music high school reunion before in my life. But that's what it was. And you see the guys that you played music with before. And like, I ran into Richard and Ray, who was the original vocalist when we got back together. And we were sitting there joking around. We're like, man, we were dumb as kids. And we're like, we made good music though. Like, that's crazy. And I was like, could you imagine if we did that again? End of conversation. We go and enjoy the show. Nobody thinks anything of it. Everybody goes home. I was mowing the lawn the next day and my phone starts going off and I pick it up. And Richard was like, hey man, were you serious? Do you really want to get this band going again? And I was like, I'm 30 now, man. Like, I have no hobbies. Like, let's do it. So Jordan was the inspiration. I mean, a lot of us that are in this band now, and we all know the root of he was the reason that we got this back together. He was in a band with Jordan. Jordan used to produce music for me. Richard was a huge fan, and Richie was one of his best friends. Same with Ray. Jordan touched all of us at some point in our music careers, and when he passed away, it just left a big hole in the music industry. And we wanted to write that first album about how we felt about losing somebody in the music. But I think this was kind of our first experience of losing somebody who you actually dealt with. You know what I mean? Like obviously, like I love Kyle Pavone. I love Romans. I've loved Romans forever. And when you lose somebody like that who's so influential, it hits you hard. And then when you find that person that you actually worked with in music and you lose that person, it's like a double gut punch. Because you still get to listen to their voice, you still get to listen to their music, but you can't call them anymore. You can't text them. You can't ask for music advice. It kind of feels like you're on your own. And that's how we got Stay Another Day. We were in the studio. We were talking about it. There were a lot of tears in the studio that day. There was a lot of tears in the studio after we finished recording that song. And it could be however somebody interprets it, our best song, our worst song, however. But as long as people realize the emotion that's in that and what that song is written for, it's written for anytime that you've lost somebody, the one thing that you wish for is just to have one more day with that person. Um, and that's where we got, man. The lyrics, I wish I could lie about this, wrote themselves. They were playing a riff. Well, they were playing the chorus. And I was like, you guys got this, man. I'm going to the bathroom. I'm in the bathroom and I heard somebody, I I can't explain it. I heard somebody singing. I heard somebody saying, "Time is the pain I feel." Top of their lungs in my head. I heard it. I shake off, I zip up, and I take off flying out of that bathroom. And I burst into the room and I was like, "Who is singing that?" And they all just stare at me. And I'm like, "Who is singing that?" And they're like, "Singing what?" And I was like, "Who is saying 'Time is the pain I feel'?" And they're like, "Nobody." But that's sick. And I was like, "Can we put that down like right now?" And they're like, "Yeah, go get in the box." And I was like, "Let's do it." Like I can't explain that day, but that song wrote itself. And I'm happy that anybody who relates to any single one of our songs.
Not to kill them all, but you did wash your hands too, right? You didn't just zip up.
I cannot confirm. I cannot confirm or deny if I washed my hands for that song. I might have been excited. I don't know. I don't remember, but yeah, that day was that was probably the most full circle day for music writing. I mean, we love that song. I think we're gonna treat that song more as of a treat now. We'll bring it back because playing that song live at Winterfest, which was beautiful, and having a memorial. It wasn't just about Jordan. Jordan was the reason that we wrote that song, but we put up everybody we lost. I told all the guys in the band. I said, if you've lost somebody, if anybody has ever meant anything to you, it doesn't have to be family. It doesn't have to just be friends. Anybody who's meant something to you in your life, send me a picture of that person. I'm putting this in the video wall. And I did not look back. I refused to look back when I was singing that song. And I'm looking out at the crowd and I see people I know and they're, getting water in the eyes. And I'm looking around. I'm like, I'm good. I know these people. We're fine. And then I seen strangers. And when the strangers were crying, I took about a 5-second pause, probably in the middle of a lyric, which, you don't want to do. But I kind of turned around, rubbed it really quick, and then put the mic back up and try to push through it because they have definitely held back some waterworks on that one.
Yeah, I looked down, saw my mom, went, no, looked over, got Drew's wife right in front of me. She's losing it. Oh, crap. So I turn around. There's my uncle on the screen. Oh, God, look out, strangers. My feet it is.
Yeah, yeah, it was beautiful.
Moment.
It was a great moment, but yeah.
Well, man, I'm sorry for your loss, but I'm glad that you guys were able, collectively in the scene to, like you said, not just do a tribute for him, but everybody that had lost somebody. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about music is like it's timeless, that song's always going to exist and how you felt when you wrote it. And that's trippy because yeah, I mean, the first time I heard that and that, time is the pain I feel. I'm not going to sing it because I can't sing worth a ish, man. But but yeah, when I heard that chorus, I was like, damn. You know, that those are heavy lyrics, but it's such like a beautiful melody too to go along with like the rest of the music. So that's trippy how sometimes things come to you out of the ether like that with music, and you
Yeah.
end up like the vessel to kind of, put it through. And yeah, that's definitely I mean, like I said, it's a great front to back lesson, but that or listen, but that was like one of the standouts like for me when I heard that, because I think anybody can relate to that, any kind of loss, whether it's death, heartbreak, friendship, whatever, like, time is the pain I feel, because it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, and there's even another line in there about like time healing all wounds, and that's
Mhm.
not really true,
Yeah,
and
it's a
and
lie.
yeah, I think a lot of people can relate to that, because as time goes on, it's like, that loss, you're always going to feel the weight of that loss, and or at least for me and the losses
Mhm.
that I've had in my life. And it's like it's more or less learning to kind of cope with it, and kind of deal with it. It doesn't really, especially if somebody really means something, something to you. Like I still wear my grandpa's necklace like every day. It's like the one piece of jewelry that
Mhm.
I have to wear every day. They were gonna bury him with it, and I asked my grandma, I was like, "Can I have that as like a keepsake?" And it's like a talisman for me. You know what I mean? Like,
No, I agree with you. When my dad passed away, my dad served in the Navy. I was in the Army. I was already retired when my dad passed away. I took my dog tags because obviously he had two and I had two. I put one of my dog tags with his dog tag, and I took one of his and I put it with mine, and I put that with him. And I have one of mine and one of his.
God, man, now you guys are gonna start making me
Brothers
cry.
watch.
Yeah, sorry, bro. Hey, sorry, bro.
Brothers watch. We've got his initials
Yeah.
on me
Hey.
and all that.
No, I mean our first album was 100% a tribute to exactly what we were talking about earlier. The march forward kind of message that you have is we all feel the pain. We all experience loss. We all do these things, and when you do that, your number one feeling that you feel when these things happen is you feel alone. And it could be, as funny as you want it to be, but this goes back to when I was a super young kid and I heard Eminem say, if I could change one kid's life, that's all that matters to me. And that's when I kind of wanted to take that into my thing. I'm like, I lost my dad and we lost Jordan and he lost his brother and everybody's lost something very important to them. If I can help one person who's lost something and with a lyric, with a song, with a guitar, anything that somebody can grab onto this and they're like, this helped me for an hour, a minute, a day, a week, a year. My job as a musician is already finished. I've had messages. We've all received messages that
Yeah.
we've helped, and I could finish music where I'm at right now and be 100% happy with what the help I've done. But then now you want to do more.
There's so much more to
You
do.
want to. What other emotions can I convey to you? What other things can I show you that you're not alone in? And
We got some stuff coming up that, yeah.
that's where we're at as a band. We're gonna have the fun, we're gonna have the hits, we're gonna have the heavy, the crazy. But when it comes to
The
the
lyric.
lyrics, we want to show somebody that in this feeling that you're not alone.
That's awesome, man. Well, thank you for your service. And again, I'm sorry, and your pops, man. And I'm sorry for your loss. My grandpa was Navy too. I have his dog tags, or at least one of them I have. That I'm grateful for those from World War II. Um, but yeah, man, and I think kind of the positive thing too that you guys touched on, because one thing I always ask people is kind of like what helps get them through, and I feel like we're kind of talking about all that. But I think one thing that's cool, at least from what I've seen from a distance, and there's a few of these collectives that I've noticed out in California. Shout out Slingshots, another band, friend of the show, in the punk realm, Northern California, and Chateau Noir and Corpus, all these bands, Psycho Manus. Like, it seems like everybody, like that collective of bands, plays shows together and like supports each other. And I feel like I see that with y'all too, whether it's Resider, Seaside, Blackout, A Moment's Notice, like all these bands out there. Like, am I picking up on that? Like, do you got like in terms of playing shows together and the support? Like, I feel like all of you kind of have like your own thing going on, but it seems like everybody's rooting for each other too, and that's cool to me to see, because I've never forgot when I heard Jamie Jossa say "High tides raises all ships."
Yeah.
Like everybody
100%.
everybody can eat. You know what I mean?
I
That was sorry.
No, you're good.
No, exactly. Like just the other day, Don, vocalist from Seaside, like we're on a phone call for probably an hour and a half. A lot of it, some of it was just, picking ideas off each other and just telling each other how much we want to help. I got you. We always got each other. Like we always want to see each other succeed. It doesn't matter who succeeds more, as long as we're succeeding, and we want to see our friends and family do so too.
Oh
And
yeah.
of course, we're both dads, and we connect on everything too. Like it's cool that we can reach out. Like Greg from Almost Notice, he's our manager, but not just our manager, a very good friend of ours and a very good person. And
Yeah,
we
me
can
and him
reach out to
spent
him
it.
and talk, and like Don and all the guys, it's just being able to help each other in music and outside of music.
Yeah, me and Greg spent an hour on the phone together, just crying about Max Crosby together. So, we it was like a virtual hug.
Raiders fan. Raiders fan. They never know when the pain stops.
Oh, that's see, and it's good being a Raiders fan, is because I could write really sad lyrics all the time. But no, he's completely correct. I think all of us have played music within the last 10, 15 years, and what the scene used to be is you got some of the most amazing bands ever back in the day, but the path to make it was nearly impossible because there was so much gatekeeping, and everybody, there wasn't the support, and you want to pump yourself up, but pump yourself up, you're putting people down, and it was crazy. You weren't really friends. I mean, you were friends with a lot of the fans, but you weren't friends with a lot of the bands, and it was kind of weird back then. But now you get the friendships with the fans, which is amazing, and seeing the same faces over and over again is beautiful. But the friendship with the bands, and it how fast it develops and how much you want to push each other. I mean, you talk about it, and you talk about their music and vice versa, and listening to like them break your music down as a fellow musician, they could hear things you like, and you could be honest, and you could say, this is something, hey, you should like trying to fix this a little bit next time. And it's truly a million times better than it used to be. I don't know what it is, if we've all gotten happier with age, or we realize that there's no reason to hold anybody down, because why would there ever be? But God, yeah, the industry's awesome right now.
Turning all the like our Roseville shows and those certain shows, like local shows, and like really cool little like summer camp moments.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, dude? Been
Yeah.
a few weeks. What's up?
We definitely when we all started like getting synced up together, it's funny, like, because there was all the gatekeeping back then, but like back then you were just like writing music, you were young, you're like, what can I do to get my music out there for it to be seen and to be enjoyed by these people. And now we're finding ourselves trying to be like, we're a band that's worth the time. We want to play with these other bands and like have a good time. What can we do to show these other bands that we're professional, we're fun, like we just want to throw an awesome show together. So it's kind of funny how like we're this way that we're doing to kind of just get ourselves out there.
Yeah, we always made it a mission for as our live, or sorry, our recorded music is, put all the emotion, find out what we work together, what we don't work together, kind of write that and come out with this piece at the end. But when it comes to live, our one mission that we have, and we always repeat, and we always tell everybody that we work with, is they're always shocked when they talk to us, like, oh my God, you guys are professional, or you guys are so easy to work with. And I'm like, it's our one goal to make us, when you remember us, like they were easy to work with. Like they had all of their ducks in a row. Everything that they needed was already done. You don't have to tell us twice, ever. If you need us to do something, you tell us once, you look back and it's done. So that's one thing we pride ourselves on as a band, is that we like to leave that positive reputation in anybody's mouth, whether it's a fan, another band, a label that's sitting in the crowd, a bar manager in the back, somebody running the door at security. Whatever they told us, it gets done. So
Yeah, I've been saying since the beginning, it's not that we all don't struggle with it, including myself being negative at times, especially in this industry. You get to those moments, but like any negativity, we just want to put it down on paper that people can feel. Otherwise, trying to stay positive, not in each other and other bands and fans and families, and just keeping that good attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I appreciate y'all sharing that, man, and I'm glad that there is like this collective of bands rooting for each other and supporting each other, playing shows together. Because I feel like that's how it should be. That's when it's the most fun. I think that helps. When you can help put other people on too. and you see that they're taking it serious and they love what they do and love to have a good time doing it too. Like that's really what it's all about. Like when I first started doing, music feature writing and stuff back in the day, shout out my buds and Tropic Bombs, like they were always awesome about, bringing other people together in the scene, and they would do a show every summer called Midsummer Meltdown, and they kind of fuse like reggae, hip hop, and like metalcore, like all in a blender in their sound. And so when they would do these Midsummer Meltdown shows, like people were encouraged to come in like beach gear, and they would do like different drinks and stuff. But it was cool because you'd have like rock and metal and all these different bands on the show. And it was just a cool time in the scene, and it was just to have everybody rooting for each other. And I think that's sick that with all the bands that I've been privileged, including yourselves, to come by this podcast to hear that it's like positive vibes, man. Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of talent, man. Like every one of, and I'm not just saying that like I'm not blowing smoke, man. I love heavy music, and every single one of you guys like has like your own flavor that you bring into the table, and it's dope. Well, as we get in the home stretch here, fellas, and thanks again so much for taking the time. I feel like I could talk to you for like 4 hours, but I ain't gonna.
Thanks. Good.
They know, man. I won't stop. If you let me go, I'll keep going.
It's like being at a bar without the beer.
Wind up doll.
Just
I
going.
think, I think we kind of touched on it already, but obviously it sounds like music is very therapeutic for y'all too. And again, I'm sorry for the losses that each one of you has experienced, but just grief is one of those emotions that it's like, you don't really know. And I guess maybe this is true for anything in life. You don't know how you're going to handle something until you're just faced with it. But when it's death in particular, or like a really heavy, breakup, like those things, especially if you don't see them coming, like they change you. And
Yeah.
I'm just curious if you guys are willing to share. And again, if I don't want to take you any places you don't want to go, but what are healthy ways beyond the music that you've learned to kind of cope with those losses, that maybe if somebody's out there and they're going to listen to this and they're going through something similar to that right now, with grief, that emotion,
You
that
want
have
to take the lead?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm probably a pretty strong, like, I've been asked this even in person a few times recently too. That is that question. Because like, he was ex-military. I used to fight fire. I was a wildland firefighter for a few years, and as we all know, you see some things you wish you didn't. And when it came to my brother, I was the first person called to the scene, so I had to go through that. And like, that's something I'd never want anybody, even my worst enemy, to ever deal with. And with those things, like not even just seeing things, or if you ever feel things or have something happen like that, I've learned being open about it, taking the time to breathe, talk, like find that person. If you don't like therapy, because like I struggle with wanting to go to therapy myself. But outside of the music, just write down the things, as we've said a couple of times, and the stuff coming up, we've all kind of put a lot of therapeutic in our way, words on paper about things we've struggled with or let go of, um, or trying to let go of, even just different things. But yeah, just being very vulnerable when you can, finding the time to breathe and really reflect and understand that, like, Rin, a UK artist, said it best. It's I'm really bad with my words. You're good with pendulum. Did I pronounce it right? Yay, big words. It's a constant. It swings back and forth between the light and the dark, and it's a really hard dance. Like, I love that he put that in one of his songs, because it's so true that sometimes you're gonna be dark, sometimes you're gonna be light, sometimes you feel like you're conquering the world, sometimes you feel like you can't even get out of bed. It's understanding that, taking that time to breathe and softening yourself really makes it easier to handle and see what side you really belong on, which is always the light. Always remember that it's better on the light side than the dark side.
And from my perspective, I lost my dad. And when I lost my dad, I went to a dark place. I mean, I don't think I was a great person. I feel like I was kind of just I questioned a lot about life, and which death faces you to do. And I kind of started feeling like other people's feelings didn't matter, and which wasn't healthy for me. It took me a little while, and it took some good friends and some great people in my life to pull me out of that place, and to truly watch myself develop back into a better person than I was before he passed away. Somebody who I would like to think that my dad would respect, and cherish as a honorable person. But the one thing, the biggest lesson that I took from this is me and my dad, when my dad was alive, is he didn't take life for granted. Whether it was being outside chopping wood or, riding quads, going out into the lake, driving to the beach, hitting a snowboard, buying a jet ski, just doing something. My dad was always doing something crazy. And to a normal person, you're like, God, this guy's always doing so much. And I was like, yeah, man, but he's so happy, like all the time. Like no matter what, he always was smiling. He was always laughing. And it clicked to me one day, and I was like, I think I was laying in bed, and it was probably afternoon, man. And I was like, damn, my dad wouldn't be doing this right now. Like my dad wouldn't want me doing this right now. He wouldn't want me laying here. He wouldn't want me moping. He'd want me doing something stupid or doing something fun or making somebody laugh or making me laugh. But you don't get those from the comfort of your bed, as hard as it is, and as hard as it is to pull yourself out of that. And like I wrote a lot of lyrics then, and but the one thing I realized is that I was pushing friends and family and everybody away. Uh, I can't do that. I couldn't do that, and he wouldn't want me to do that. And I think my message to anybody who goes through any loss or anything is to live how they would want you to live. If you're struggling with the thought of what happens at the end, they're not struggling with that thought anymore, but they would want you to live a happy and long life. And the way to do that is to go out and live, and not to confine yourself. Unless your happy place is home. If your happy place is home, then you're living. But when it comes to me, I knew to honor him, I needed to get out more. And getting out more, doing something I wouldn't normally do, like showing up to a random show in Sacramento in the middle of a work night, ended up in this. And that was all because I just clocked out of work and drove out to Sacramento.
So when I met my wife, her sister had a son that was about a year and a half old when I met her, and he was born with a congenital heart defect. And about a year into our relationship, he passed away. Um, and being on the outside, like I mean, it was tough for me, but being on the outside watching, like because there was my wife's family because of her sister's loss, and then my brother-in-law, his side of the family, being able to be on the outside and watch the two separate families grieve that loss. My wife's family, even to this day, as much as it hurts to lose someone like that, um, they still talk about the good times, and how great of a personality he had for the short time that he was here. And then my brother-in-law's side of the family, they get quiet. They have a hard time talking about it. I mean, you can tell it still hurts, but it's like you just like the pendulum. There's the dark side you can see on how you handle things, and there's the happy kind of healthy side. Either way, it's still gonna hurt, but at least through that, it's kind of shown me the healthy ways on how to handle things like that. When you lose somebody, it's healthy to think about the good times and how they affected you, and then how you're going to take that forward in your life. Like Jake said, like get up, do something, live life to your fullest, because they wouldn't want you sitting and grieving and moping for a long period of time.
I had one saying at the last show. I think I was fighting back tears, like I said, and Stay Another Day. And the pit was building up, and they knew the breakdown was coming of the song. And instead of singing the actual lyrics of the song, I said to the crowd, "I want you to go as hard as you can in the pit. Go as hard as they would want you to go." And which just caused chaos. I mean,
Dude,
it was bad.
I'll my face off and jump in that pit.
Also, my bad.
That hit me hard on stage.
Yeah, but no, every moment's beautiful, man. And every connection, like getting to meet you is something that we wouldn't have been able to do without out this path that we're on. And sometimes you want to fight. Is there a bigger picture? Isn't there a bigger picture? Who knows, man? But we're all on this fucking journey, and we'll find out together one day. But while we're here, let's just enjoy the ride.
You've got one shot.
Yeah, just take that time. I do it myself. I get dark, don't get out of bed. don't want to go to the gym, but I know that mentally I'd be happier to just fight that chaos within and just get it.
Oh yeah, man, for sure. And that's the thing. It's like the people who are gone and they still kind of live on through you. You know what I mean? Whether you give the names to kids or family or just, mannerisms, things that you have, like just genetically, things that you do like that just it's those people that are still with you, and I'm glad that you guys have music as an outlet for it. And again, I'm so sorry to hear about the loss that all of you guys have
You
gone
know,
through.
Yeah.
I think
Part of
one of the
life.
the positive side of grief, if there is a silver lining in how awful those losses are, is that when you can connect with people in a positive way and you have a healthy outlet for it, you can still transmute that negative energy into something positive. And that's like one of my favorite things about heavy music. Like, I'm not a good salesman, but I always tell people, like, heavy music is a positive release of negative emotion. Like, full
go to
stop.
any show.
Angry music
Yeah.
makes me happy, man. That's the thing, you know.
And most of the people, you go to a live show. I've had so many people that did not care for heavy music, and I've had people go to one show and be like, "Man, that was one heck of a great energy. Everybody around us, people pick each other up. I think I got to go to every freaking metal show I can now." And I'm like, "Rock
That's the
on,
thing. Whether you're at the front of the cage or the front of the barrier getting kicked in the back of the head, or you're in the pit, or you're in the backs with your arms crossed, man. Everybody has their way to enjoy it, and it's just fun to be there. I like to thank everybody for keeping music alive. Just as we were thanked. When you attend a show, you hear the words that these big guys tell you, and it's an honor to be able to even step on a stage and say the same words to the fans that show up. It's beautiful.
You'll never see a more helpful group of people than when somebody falls in a mosh pit.
True.
Guaranteed.
This dog just walked up and farted.
I heard it, but I feel so hard.
I was like, what just happened?
I turned around like, "Is that Bentley?"
Yeah.
Yep. What's up?
Bentley's like, wrap it up. Well, in all seriousness, I really do appreciate the time, fellas. I'm excited for y'all. I'm excited for what's on the horizon. I want everybody listening to go listen to Infinite, go run up the numbers on Drain. Keep an eye out for the new singles that are coming. I will put the links in the podcast description, but let them know where they can find y'all if they're new to Ourselves Among Others.
We are Ourselves Among Others on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, anywhere that you could find music, we are on. I think we even put ourselves on Roblox one time. I don't know. It was a button I could press. I pressed it. I don't know how to work Roblox, but
Bands in town.
yeah, we're on everything, man. Yeah, thank you so much for having us on the show. It means the world. Like I said, I will never deny anybody an opportunity to sit with somebody to talk about music. These guys love it as well. Drain just came out back in February. We have a new announcement. You should see it within the next week or so about the next single that's coming out. It should be a fun ride. We're definitely pumping up some energy. So definitely check us out. We would love to meet some new fans. And if you ever have a question, you want to talk to us, our DMs are open, man.
And if you ever see us a live show, whether it be local or anywhere in your state, town, city, whatever, we don't bite. We love to talk.
Yeah.
Love to meet everybody.
I just want to give you a quick shout out, man. Hey, your breakdowns of our music was spot on, man. That was very impressive to watch. So you have an active ear for music. I love to hear that, and you caught a lot of what we were putting out. So again, thank you so much for having us, man. It means the world. And anytime you want to talk, hey, like I said, we already have DMs together. So if you want to just hit us up and talk, man, hey, we're here for you.